Hello everyone, welcome to another manga haul for the month of September. This one is going to be another one with a lot of volumes, probably like 70 plus. I didn't count it this time around, but similar to last time. So we're just going to get right into it because I don't want it to be too long. Last time it was like 45 minutes, but I'm going to start with all the hardcovers first. So first off is Bleach, Volume 1, the Collector's Edition. Again, most things used bookstores. This one was indeed a used bookstore purchase. So I did a lot of traveling this month, or this past month. So a lot of things are from areas that I normally don't get to do any manga shopping at. This one though, I think I did buy locally to me, so. But we all know Bleach, just the first volume, just a hardcover. That's that. This one is Wandering Sun, Volume 1. This one is unfortunately very out of print, which makes me sad because this is really one of the only or very few manga that actually deals with trans issues, I think very well. And it's published by Fantagraphic Books, so again, a very, very small publisher, but beautiful edition, beautiful pages, great blown up art. So this is I don't know much about the actual story itself, but all I know is that it's very delves with LGBTQ issues and identity, things along that line. Very excited about this one. Now we have Rose of Versailles, Volume 2. As you probably recall from the last video, I am actively trying to collect the Rose of Versailles hardcovers, published by Udon. They are very expensive. They're like $40 each. I think the only one that's cheap is like cheap, quote unquote. The 5th volume is about $35. And that's it, pretty much it for hardcovers. So we'll start with some of the series that I got this month, or at least trying to continue a series. NG Life Volume 8, as well as NG Life Volume 9. I have heard a lot of good things about this series. It's similar in storyline to like Red River, in the sense that it deals with the past life, or just not past life, but like the past, and kind of isekai genre. So that's NG Life 8 and 9. And again, another one that you know that I'm currently trying to collect, slowly eating away at the volumes I don't have, but it's Moonchild Volume 3, as well as Volume 8 and Volume 10. So Volume 12 was the only one that I was able to get thus far, so I still have a very long way to go, but I really didn't think I was going to even be able to collect this volume, or this series, because it's painfully out of print, and it's very hard to find this series out and about. This one I did buy while I was traveling this month, so I got really lucky in that with that. What's that? This one, the Kindaichi Case Files, Volume 8, as well as Volume 12, I believe. This is definitely a nice nostalgia series. Mystery. Some of these volumes, though, can be really hard to find. Severely out of print, that kind of thing. Next, we have Land of the Blindfolded. Again, another one that I'm trying to collect and lighten the gaps in what I have so far. So I have Volume 4, as well as Volume 6. These ones I also bought while traveling. These next couple ones I actually got while I was in Portland, and I'm not sure if this particular publisher is located in Oregon or Portland or something, because they had a lot of the comic book stores I went to there had a lot of very niche manga from this specific publisher, which seems very small. But we'll start with this, Abandon the Old in Tokyo by Yoshihiro Tatsumi. And sorry, I don't want that to fall. Great publication. It's a collection of short stories. The mangaka for this series is actually heralded as the grandfather of alternative manga storytelling, and it seems to be very satirical in nature, oftentimes quite mature, and dealing with, again, typically political, societal issues and critiques along that nature. So this is a collection of short stories that probably have a revolving theme. I don't really know much about it because I haven't read it yet, but I was really intrigued, and it has that nice cartoony art style similar to Osamu Tezuka. So that's that. Next one, again, bought in Portland, by Vertical actually, not by the same, that D&Q publisher. Sorry, I forgot the name. But this is The Book of Human Insects by Osamu Tezuka. And I was really intrigued just by the name. I think the name is really cool. But what I do know about this series is that it follows this woman here, and as she comes along, and it's, again, another satirical, political kind of type of story that says a lot about society and humanity as a whole. But you follow this one female, and she's just as crash and just as brash, I should say, as some of her male counterparts, but apparently hardly a feminist icon. But that's essentially the main drag. I feel like that was not a very good overview at all, but you'll have to look into it because I have not read it yet. But that's that. Then we have Blackjack, also by Osamu Tezuka. This one I believe is also published by Vertical. I don't think this particular volume is very hard to find. This is just volume 1. But essentially, you follow a mad scientist, and he is a genius, but he's trying to fix people, but in very unorthodox ways. So it's almost kind of like a genie type thing where, you know, you're fixing people, but in ways that they probably would not have imagined. So that's Blackjack. This one, another one by Osamu Tezuka that I did not know existed until I happened to see it in Portland, and that's Melody of Iron and Other Short Stories. So again, still wrapped, published by, yes, DMP, and collection of short stories. I don't really know much, but anytime I saw Osamu Tezuka, I kind of was interested and made me want to buy it, so we'll give it a shot. I forgot to mention also that these past 3 or 4 volumes by Osamu Tezuka and the Abandon the Old in Tokyo are all I purchased new from local comic book stores in Oregon. Next is No Matter How I Look at It, Watamote Volume 2, as well as Volume 3. I bought these both at from OfferUp, actually. So I bought them for about $5 each, because I really wasn't going to collect this series, but I mean, for $5 per volume, I might as well just have volumes 1 through 3. Great series. I talked more about it in my last video. Next, I have Tsubasa, Those with Wings, not to be confused with the Clamp series, I guess, by Natsuki Takaya, and she's the same person who wrote Fruits Basket and Twinkle Stars. This is, I believe, before Fruits Basket. So I've heard mixed things. I don't think it's her strongest work, because again, this is early on. You can tell the art style is a little bit different. This is, you know, before she had the things that she was dealing with that changed her art style. So this is an earlier work by her. So I have volume 1, volume 2, as well as the final volume, which is volume 3. So it's a short series, pretty low commitment. Thought I'd give it a shot. And that's that. That's pretty much it. Or actually no, I do have one more series. This is probably the most exciting find of the month, and that is I have the entire series of From Far Away. And similar in the same vein to Red River, similar storyline of isekai. So volume 1. Classic shoujo, romance, isekai-esque. She gets transported to another world where she's heralded as, I can't remember the term that they use, but it's like she's like something of an omen, essentially, that brings about destruction and like the end of this empire in this world, this different world. And she's obviously confused. She has no idea what's really going on, because she's just a high school girl. I've only read the first 2 volumes or 3 volumes. But essentially she gets transported to this world, and again, as a bad omen, she kind of slowly starts to realize it herself, because she doesn't truly understand it. And the male lead happens to find her when she first arrives in the world, and he decides to try to protect her. I'm doing a really poor job of explaining the synopsis, but again, this is just from my very limited reading of the first 2 or 3 volumes. The art style is gorgeous. I love that classic 90s shoujo kind of type look to it. Volume 12, volume 13, and volume 14, the final volume. So I got super lucky on this one. It's a very difficult series to find, and to find it all in one place. I found it all basically from one bookstore. It had all the volumes. From Far Away. Okay, last of the series, English series, is that I purchased most of, is Dengeki Daisy. And this one I had heard from other manga tubers was a really good series. And so I started to read volume 1 and volume 2, and I believe I'm on volume 3 right now. And so far I really like it. I think it's very different from typical shoujo. I've heard it's a lot of people's favorites. It's also by the same mangaka that did Beastmaster, I believe. Has that similar art style. So I thought I'd give it a shot, and so far I'm very much so liking it. Some of these volumes are very hard to find. I think volume 10 in particular is a really difficult one, and I think it goes for like $80 on eBay. So I found most of the harder volumes, I believe. I still have quite a few gaps. I'm pretty sure I'm missing volume 3, 6, and 9 right now, as well as volume 1 and 15 and 16. So if those are really hard to find, I'm at a loss, because I probably won't be buying it online. Hopefully it'll come about soon. Next I have BTOOOM Volume 11. I'm not really collecting BTOOOM, but I know this one is a particularly hard volume to find, and I kind of need to make up for the loss on all the money I spend on manga, honestly. So I'm hoping to actually sell this one and try to make up for some purchases. That's BTOOOM. Next is Basara. This is another one I bought while I was traveling. Volume 23. This is the same place actually that I bought Moonchild. Had a lot of out-of-print series. I've heard really good things about this. I'd love to collect it. It's pretty lengthy, but I heard it's an absolute masterpiece, and the art is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I would love to collect this series. I wish it wasn't so long, but... oh my god, yeah. I'm just getting enchanted by this art. It's gorgeous. I heard it's quite literally a masterpiece. Then I have Vampire Night. This is the final volume. Although I did buy this used, but it is still sealed. Vampire Night has the... it's like the limited edition version, so it has like a different binding from normal, different coloring. It says limited edition on there, if it'll focus. Then we have the Last Night illustration book. So it comes with an art book and the final volume of the manga. This one is a one-shot called Train Man, a shoujo manga by Machiko Ocha. Sorry, I'm probably totally butchered that name. But essentially about this otaku that happens to save a girl from a bunch of drunk guys, and he wants to continue talking to her and hopefully develop a relationship with her, so he seeks out advice online, and then it becomes a whole debacle where everybody is rooting for him and wants updates on the situation and that kind of thing. I don't know, I haven't read it yet. That's just the general synopsis that I know. We'll see. I've heard good things, or from other people that they like the mangaka. This one was another one that I bought intending to actually sell it to make up for the loss and how much I spend on manga, honestly. And this is Chronicles Volume 10. So, I don't know. I thought maybe I will collect it just because I don't want to make any spoilers, so maybe I'll collect it now that I have the hardest volume to find, but I don't know. I kind of just need the money, so I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. Next one is In Clothes Called Fat by Mayoko Ano, and she's the same mangaka who did Hot Gimmick, or not Hot Gimmick, Hot Mania, I think. I'm sorry, I'm totally blanking on it right now, but very distinctive. So the thing about In Clothes Called Fat that I didn't really like is that the message of the author seemed to me very unclear. It deals with a woman who has an eating disorder, and I thought it was pretty refreshing in the sense that it's very different, especially with how Japan deals with fat phobia, essentially. But the thing I didn't like was throughout the story is that there's various images, like I guess the chapter dividings or whatever you want to call them, where it would just have like pictures of skinny women, essentially. And yes, while I understand that the point of the manga is this fixation on beauty and thinness, essentially, but I still, again, I didn't think it really had a point to it besides just pure aesthetic, and I don't know, the message didn't really sit well with me. I thought the ending was kind of strange and didn't have anything meaningful or good to say about eating disorders or how to eat disorder, or how eating disorders work or anything. It was just like, here's a story about this girl trying to get thin and she has an eating disorder, and I don't know, it's just strange. I wasn't really a fan of the storytelling. Again, I commend the mangaka for trying to branch out into that, but I really didn't have good things to say about it. So that's that. Next is Super Tiny. I'm pretty sure that this was like, you probably got this for free or something if you purchased the collector's edition of the game or something, but I am really a big fan of Code Vein. Finished the game a while ago when it first came out. This is a little tiny manga. It's called episodes 1 and 2 of Code Vein Memory Echoes, and it's essentially just the video game, but manga version. That was fun. Kind of cool. So continuing with manga that I'm currently trying to collect, Trinity Blood. I can't remember if I included the other volumes that I have in my last video, but Trinity Blood, this is volume 4. Bought this again when I was traveling for $3. Oops, not focusing, but for $3, can't go wrong. Volume 4, and I feel like these volumes are increasingly getting harder to find. I've been a fan of Trinity Blood from the anime when I first watched it in like 2006 or something, so excited to start collecting it. I'm a big fan of the aesthetic. Next is Perfect World, Volume 5. As again in my last video, I am actively trying to collect Perfect World. So I just need Volume 6, and then I'd be caught up with what is currently out, and I gave a much more in-depth review of the story in the manga in my last video. Then we have Descending Stories, Volume 7. It's actually a longer title. It's like Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinji or something, or Shinju. Totally butchered that, but I first heard about this, actually I watched the anime in college, and it's a really beautiful story, beautiful storytelling. I'd highly recommend this if you're into anything historical, any sort of traditional Japanese culture. An amazing story. I found interest in the historical bit as well, but I think where that really shines is the story of the characters, and as you follow them throughout their life. This is volume 10, this is the final volume, published by Kodansha. Some of these are starting to increasingly be harder to find. This volume in particular is quite hard to find, so I'm hoping to collect it before it gets really excessively expensive. So then we have, still a manga actually, but kind of not really. This is Clamp's Mokona's Akimono Kimono, and this is essentially just this specific member of Clamp, I believe that's her, is very much so into kimonos, and so she, I guess that's like her hobby, honestly, I don't know, but it's literally just a book about kimonos and like her advice on picking out a kimono fashion, yeah, things like that. I believe that's her. I could be wrong, but she gives like recommendations of where to go to pick up kimonos and stuff like that. It's interesting to collect, and I'm a big fan of anything Clamp, so that's Kobato, the one of the Clamp characters in her kimono. That'd be fun. Continuing, Pandora Hearts. This is volume 11. I currently have volume 1 through 10. So, again, just continuing with what I have. Then we have Higurashi When They Cry, volume 1. This is of the Curse Killing arc. And this is one that's big nostalgia for me. I've been trying to collect this now for a long time, but as a teenager I only had the first arc, which is Abducted by Demons. And so I never got the ones that have like the white covers, which I majorly regret, obviously now. But I got pretty lucky with this one. Really excited about it. Classic horror. Would not recommend if you're skivvy to that kind of stuff. Overall, great story though. Big fan. Punch, Volume 3. I didn't get the whole series because I actually don't really like the series. I think it's okay. I don't know, I'm not really a big fan of the mangaka, to be honest. The only reason why I got this one is because I just like one of the short stories that's included in this. It's about, the short story I believe is about a girl who is trying to hide her real identity as a punk rock singer, essentially, but she wants to stay and impress this one guy, so she kind of changes who she is in order to fit his type, essentially. But it's a good story. That's that. Horimiya Volume 13. That's a guilty pleasure for me, but it's cute. I enjoyed the anime, so I thought I'd get into the manga. It got pretty hard to find it during COVID. A lot of stuff was out of stock. The thing I just don't like is that these pages are so incredibly cheap, and I really don't like the printing of this, which makes me not want to continue buying it, but I literally already have pretty much the whole series now, so I'm kind of stuck with it, unless I just decide to sell it off, I guess. I don't know. I'll really run through it and read it and then see if I want to continue with it. Then we have Trigun, Volume 7, Happy Days, published by Dark Horse, in conjunction, I believe, with Digital Media Publishing. I'm not really sure what that, if they did like a collab together or something. But this one is like a, kind of like a prequel, because this particular volume goes back into Vash's past, along with his brother, kind of. And this one just, in my opinion, has amazing art in it. I'm a big Trigun fan, so really happy to have it. Then we have Blackbird, Volume 13. As you know from my last video, I am actively trying to collect it, but only certain parts. Again, I don't want to give any spoilers, but I ship the brother with the MC, so yeah, that's the main part that I really love. But yeah, no spoilers. Blackbird, that's Volume 13. Pretty much probably where I'm going to stop collecting. This is the only volume I wanted left, so that's probably it for Blackbird for me. So the next one I have is definitely a major guilty pleasure, and that's I Swear I Won't Bother You Again. I just happened to see this one at a used bookstore, and I decided to just give it a try and just read it, since I hardly ever read newer published manga. This one falls into that like isekai, otome gin, reverse harem kind of genre, which I'm a huge sucker for, unfortunately. I'm embarrassed to say that, but it is what it is. Because normally I really hate isekai kind of type things for that reason, just because I think a lot of times it's very harem-y and it's very just like self-insert, but I love it when it's a female protagonist and male side characters. But this one actually is pretty good. I actually am a big fan of it. Good storytelling, I think. So, I've been reading the scans for this. Big fan. Next is Godchild, Volume 1, and I'd love to collect more of these, and as common as they kind of are, I also have yet to find the other volumes for this series. I used to see it a lot more often, but this totally is one of those ones where it just reminds me of reading manga at the library, and this was definitely one series that I was actively trying to reserve and read when I was a kid, because this is like back in the heyday when goth was a huge thing in the early 2000s, so with the art style and the themes of this series, I was very, very into it. It really does have absolutely gorgeous art, pretty gory, and very mature themes. So if you're skivvy to that, I might want to stay away from this series. But definitely a favorite of mine. Hopefully I can get more. Now we're going to do probably all the Japanese manga. I have quite a few actually, so I'll go run through this really fast. This is Vampire Knight. This is the official fan book, only printed in Japanese, so a lot of the text I can't even read. But it's just like information, character profile type stuff. There are some color pages here. There's like a couple art type pages. Very nice. And some words with the mangaka, like an interview with the mangaka. So that's that. I have Pandora Hearts postcard book. This one's kind of interesting. It is a book, but it is literally just a bunch of postcards all linked together. So it's almost like an art book, but they're a little bit more cardboardy feeling each page. But a pretty interesting concept, and nice to go alongside with the rest of the series. Here we have one of the Blood Plus light novels, and I already forgot the name. It's like Cow Nights. I can't remember. Something Nights. Starts with a K. But this follows as a prequel to the series, following Haji, and I believe this takes place in China as he tries to investigate some killings with like the Chiropterans. God, it's been a while since I read this. Oh, my bookmark. But big fan of the Blood Plus series, one of my favorite series of all time. It's pretty hard to find this particular light novel in English, so Japanese it'll be. Then we have Chobits. It's actually an anime, like manga. I forgot what they call these, but it's like screenshots from the anime, and then they kind of just use it to tell the story in place of the series. It was only $2 at Book Off. The real reason why I got it is because it actually includes one. It has like nice little character profile things. And the other thing is that it has a like holographic sticker postcard similar to the cover, and that's really the main reason why I bought it. I'm also a huge Chobits fan, so. This one was a random one. Again, like it was only $2, but this one was one I was just more attracted to the art, and I kind of wanted to use it as a placeholder for me to remember this series and to try and figure out what it is and then try to read it online or something, because again it is in Japanese, and I don't know if it has an English printing. I'm unaware, but I bought it to kind of act as a reminder to myself to look into it. It does seem like a josei. The art really is what drew me to this. The art's absolutely gorgeous looking. It seems like it has a lot of references to water, so if anybody knows what the series is, help me out. Yeah, the art is so pretty. Yeah, I'd like to find out who the mangaka is, because I really am a fan of her art style and the overall aesthetics of her pages. Gorgeous. I mean, look at that cover with the sleeve too, is amazing. So then we have Paradise Kiss Volume 3, and I already have the full set, like multiple editions of the series, in various renditions, honestly, but I think I have the first volume in Japanese as well. I just really like the printing of this, so one of many versions of Paradise Kiss that I have. And again, it was like, this one literally also was only $2, so can't go wrong. These are 2 Kodansha Boys Love series, actually, both by the mangaka who did Chihaya Furu, which is really one of the big reasons why I got this, was just because I'm a huge fan of Chihaya Furu. I wish the series would get published in English. So it's her distinctive art style. And hopefully I can just get one of those apps or just try to read scanlations of this. Like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. Her aesthetic is amazing. So I got the first volume of it. And I believe these are like collections of short stories. And the second volume of it. So yeah, I think it's just a collection of short stories that are BL, that relate to patisseries and baking and things along that line. Then we have Lovely Complex, an art book actually. One of my favorites. Actually, this is probably my favorite rendition from the Lovely Complex art book. It's just such a great little bit. So like little twin stars, kind of like pop-in music. This one's really cute too to go alongside it. But anyway, one of my personal favorite pickups of this month, probably for sure. And I can't go wrong. I only bought it for like $4 at like a used bookstore. Can't go wrong. Very happy about it. I do have another Lovely Complex fan book. This one is less art book-y, more like character profile, although it does have some color pages and some actual art in it. But again, nice to have side along the actual Lovely Complex volumes I do have, which I don't have much. I probably literally have maybe volume 1 and 3, I believe, and that's it. So Lovely Complex Gallery. Great sleeve. That's that. Ooh, I forgot about this one. Sorry, this is a Japanese manga, not an art book. This one was another one where I'm trying to remind myself to read the scanlations. Oh, sorry. Flash something pretty bad, honestly. Seems very mature content, horror, seinen kind of type series. I really like the art style. Kind of reminds me of Flowers of Evil, but similar vein, I think, in the sense that it's probably going to be very mature and deal with some pretty gnarly topics. So here's the name of it, if anybody's interested, but fair warning, I don't know. I've only flipped through it, so I don't know what the actual story is, but it seems kind of gnarly. What's that? Okay. So, as you all know, I do collect DVDs, so I didn't get many DVDs this month, but I did get a copy of Fushigi Yugi used. This is the OVA collection, so why not? Kind of fun. I like Fushigi Yugi. Why not get the OVAs? Kind of like an art book now, or a guide actually by Yoshitoshi Abe, who is also the artist or character designer for Serial Experiments Lane, and this is like a guide through of how he creates like his computer graphics, so his artistic process for that, what programs he uses. He goes through general sketches on the programs that he uses. A lot of it is in Japanese, obviously, so it's supplemented with enough pictures where you could kind of get a general idea. Then we have one more art book, Black Butler art book called Black Record, and can't go wrong, general art book, nice and big, huge prints, a classic. So that's pretty much it for the month of September and in manga haul stuff. So thanks for watching, glad you made it this far, see you at the next one.